Welcome, everyone. Today we're going on a deep dive into a fascinating book, Yoga as Medicine, by Dr. Timothy McCall.
Sounds intriguing.
It is. It really is. It
Yeah.
offers a look at how yoga can be used therapeutically. And I think what's so unique is that he blends his personal stories with scientific research
Oh,
and
wow.
practical advice. So it's not just like a dry medical textbook.
Right.
And the cool thing is it's all from the perspective of a medical doctor
Really?
who became a huge advocate for yoga.
I see bridging those two worlds.
Exactly. And we'll be uncovering how yoga can be utilized for so many different conditions, from arthritis to
Right.
back pain, anxiety, even depression.
Oh, that's interesting. I think what strikes me about this book is how it manages to connect Western medicine with these yogic traditions,
It's a good point. It really is.
providing a really comprehensive understanding of how yoga can be used for healing.
You know, one of the things that I found really compelling was Dr. McCall's own story.
Oh, tell me about it.
Well, he started out as a total skeptic.
I can see that.
He was really into athletics, which led to a lot of chronic pain and injuries over the years.
Makes sense.
But then he discovered yoga, and it completely changed his life.
You mean it helped with the pain?
Absolutely. It gave him so much relief.
It's amazing how transformative yoga can be.
It is, and it really highlights this crucial difference between just taking a yoga class and what's considered actual yoga therapy.
That's a good distinction.
Because while general classes can be great for a lot of people if you have a serious medical condition,
Right.
you really need a more tailored approach.
I see.
Like Dr. McCall talks about how certain yoga poses can actually make carpal tunnel syndrome worse.
Oh, wow. So it can be detrimental.
Exactly. That's why expert guidance is so important.
I can imagine.
And there's this incredible story in the book about Swami Rama.
Okay, I've heard of him.
He was a yogi who could actually control his body in incredible ways.
What do you mean?
Like through yoga techniques, he could change things like his heart rate, even his brainwave patterns.
That's remarkable.
It's mind-blowing, right?
Yeah, it really shows how powerful yoga can be.
Definitely. And Dr. McCall brings in scientific research to show how yoga impacts different body systems.
Interesting. Like what specifically?
Well, he talks about cholesterol levels, joint
Yeah.
health, and even how yoga can activate parts of the brain linked to happiness.
That makes sense. I can see that.
One of the most fascinating parts for me was the yogic perspective on stress and its connection to disease.
Oh, that's important.
It is. And he really delves into the role of cortisol, the stress hormone,
Uh-huh.
and its detrimental effects on the body.
It's incredible how much stress can impact our health.
It's true. And that's why understanding the link between chronic stress and conditions like diabetes, heart disease, even autoimmune disorders
Right.
is so critical.
Yeah.
And you know how Dr. McCall really emphasizes stress management as vital for overall health?
Absolutely. It's something we often overlook.
We do, and yoga can play a huge role in that,
Definitely. A lot of people turn to yoga for stress relief.
for sure.
Oh.
Have you ever experienced that feeling of flow? Like when you're completely absorbed in something?
I think being in the zone.
Exactly.
That's flow.
And Dr. McCall talks about how it's actually conducive to healing.
Interesting. How so?
Well, it's about being fully present and engaged.
I see.
And in yoga, that connects to the concept of samadhi.
I've heard of that.
It's a state of complete stillness and absorption in the mind, often achieved through practices like meditation.
Right.
And Dr. McCall provides some insights on how we can access this state through yoga.
That's really cool. I'd love to learn more about that.
There's this really neat exercise in the book called Eyes on the Sides of Your Head.
That sounds interesting.
Have you ever tried it?
I haven't, but I'm curious.
So basically, you imagine having eyes on your temples.
Okay.
And as you practice, you start to notice this sense of relaxation washing over you.
I can see how that could be really powerful.
It is. It's a subtle technique, but it really works.
It's amazing how yoga utilizes those subtle yet effective techniques
Right.
to shift our perception and our physical state.
One of the things that Dr. McCall emphasizes is the holistic nature of yoga.
As opposed to,
Well, he contrasts this with the reductionist approach you often see in conventional medicine.
I see.
Yoga recognizes that our physical, mental, and emotional well-being are all connected,
Makes sense.
and it seeks to harmonize all of those aspects.
I like that holistic approach.
Me too. And he illustrates this beautifully with the story of Dolores.
Who's Dolores?
She's a woman living with HIV who embraced a multifaceted approach to healing.
Oh, wow.
She incorporated yoga, traditional Chinese medicine, and her spiritual beliefs.
So it's a very comprehensive approach.
It was. And it's a powerful example of how addressing health from a holistic perspective, can make a real difference.
I agree. It's about looking at the whole person.
Exactly. And Dr. McCall makes it clear that yoga's tools extend far beyond just physical postures.
Like what else?
Well, he talks about guided imagery breathwork, the concept of intention, which is known as sankalpa,
Right.
and the importance of community or sangha for healing and well-being.
Yeah, that sense of connection is so crucial.
It is. And then he also talks about the importance of safety in yoga.
Oh, that's good to know.
He offers guidance on avoiding pain, listening to your body signals, and considering contraindications for certain conditions.
So it's about being mindful and taking a personalized approach.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's all about respecting your limitations and practicing with awareness.
Which aligns perfectly with yoga's core principles of self-awareness and nonviolence.
Absolutely. It's about honoring your body and practicing safely for a sustainable and beneficial yoga journey.
That makes a lot of sense. And it really emphasizes that yoga's not a one-size-fits-all practice.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
And Dr. McCall really encourages creating a personal yoga routine.
That makes sense.
He says it's the best way to really integrate these teachings into your everyday life.
I agree. Consistency is key.
For sure. He offers some really practical tips for creating a sustainable practice, like finding a time that works for you and honoring your own needs and limitations.
It's about making it a part of your life, not just something you do once a week.
Exactly. And he emphasizes that even dedicating just a few minutes each day can make a huge difference.
I like that it feels more attainable.
Right. It's not about being perfect or pushing yourself to the limit. It's about approaching yoga with kindness and celebrating every step you take towards well-being.
That's a great message. Self-compassion is so important.
It is. So the book also delves into how yoga can be used therapeutically for a whole range of specific conditions.
Oh, wow. Like what kind of conditions?
Well, for example, he talks about how certain breathing techniques can be really helpful for managing anxiety.
That's so relevant these days.
It is. And he specifically mentions how extending the exhalation can have a calming effect.
Interesting. I've never heard that before.
He even gives an example of a yoga therapist, Rolf Sovic, who helped a student named Graciela manage her anxiety through these techniques.
And it worked.
It did. The focus was on releasing muscle tension and promoting a smoother, more relaxed breath.
Makes sense. Tension and anxiety often go hand in hand.
They do. Then he moves on to arthritis, which affects
Right.
millions of people.
Right. It's a very common condition.
And he emphasizes the importance of gentle, mindful movement for managing it.
I can see how that would be beneficial.
He talks about how yoga can improve joint health by increasing range of motion and promoting the flow of nourishing fluids to cartilage.
So it's not just about stretching.
No, it's about nourishing the joints too.
Yeah.
And he gives an example of a woman named Liz who had osteoarthritis in her knees and found relief and improved mobility through a customized yoga practice.
That's encouraging.
It is. And then he also talks about asthma, which is something he personally experiences.
Really?
He shares how yoga helped him improve his breathing patterns and reduce his reliance on medication.
Wow, that's amazing.
He emphasizes learning diaphragmatic breathing, which engages the diaphragm muscle for a fuller, more efficient breath.
I've heard of that, but I'm not sure I know how to do it.
Well, he offers specific exercises to retrain breathing habits and promote optimal lung function.
That's helpful.
Now let's talk about back pain.
Oh, a classic.
Right, it's something so many people struggle with.
Or-
And Dr. McCall dedicates a significant portion of the book to addressing it.
What does he say about it?
Well, he stresses that it's crucial to identify the specific causes of back pain because there's no one-size-fits-all solution.
True back pain can stem from so many different things.
Exactly. But yoga can address things like muscular imbalances, improve posture, and promote spinal flexibility.
All of which can contribute to back pain relief.
Right. And he shares the story of Judith Darrington, a yoga therapist who suffered from chronic back pain for years, but found lasting relief through a tailored yoga practice.
So there's hope.
There is. He also discusses how yoga can be a complementary approach to managing the symptoms of cancer.
Oh, that's interesting.
He talks about how it can help reduce stress and improve overall well-being during treatment.
That makes sense. Those are crucial aspects of healing.
They are. And he shares the story of Erin, who used yoga to cope with the physical and emotional challenges of breast cancer.
And how did it help her?
Well, it helped her regain strength, reduce stress, and cultivate a sense of empowerment during a really difficult time.
It's amazing how yoga can provide that kind of support,
Then he moves on to carpal tunnel syndrome, which is so common these days.
especially with all the typing and phone use.
Exactly. And Dr. McCall emphasizes addressing postural imbalances and repetitive strain injuries, which often contribute to carpal tunnel symptoms.
I can see that
He
connection.
gives the example of Gwyneth, who experienced significant relief from carpal tunnel pain through yoga postures, stretches, and ergonomic adjustments to her workspace.
So it's a multifaceted approach.
It is. And then there's chronic fatigue syndrome, which is a really debilitating condition.
It's characterized by persistent exhaustion, right?
Right. And Dr. McCall highlights the importance of restorative yoga practices, gentle postures, and breathing techniques to support energy levels and promote relaxation.
That sounds very soothing.
It is. And he stresses the need for a gradual and personalized approach because the nature of this condition can fluctuate.
I see. It's about adapting to the individual's needs.
He shares the story of Janice, who found relief from chronic fatigue through a customized yoga program that incorporated both energizing and restorative practices.
That's really inspiring.
It is. It shows how yoga can help people regain vitality and improve their quality of life.
Definitely. Then there's depression, which is a very prevalent condition.
It is. And Dr. McCall emphasizes how yoga can help regulate mood, reduce stress, and foster a sense of calm and well-being.
Yoga seems to have a positive impact on mental health in general.
It does. He presents the case of Carrie, who struggled with depression for years, but found relief and a significant shift in her overall outlook through consistent yoga practice.
Wow, that's powerful.
It really is. Then he talks about diabetes management, which is another chronic condition.
What requires careful attention.
Right. And Dr. McCall highlights how yoga can play a role in regulating blood sugar levels, improving insulin sensitivity, and reducing stress, which can make symptoms worse.
It sounds like a holistic approach to managing diabetes.
It is. And he shares Maggie's story, who successfully managed her type 2 diabetes through a tailored yoga practice, along with lifestyle changes.
So it's about combining different approaches.
It is. Then he talks about fibromyalgia, which is characterized by widespread pain and fatigue.
I've heard of it, but I don't know much about it.
Yeah, Dr. McCall emphasizes gentle, mindful movement, recognizing that pushing through pain is counterproductive for people with this condition.
That makes sense. It's about listening to your body.
He shares Jill's story, who found significant relief from fibromyalgia symptoms through a personalized practice that focused on gentle stretches, relaxation techniques, and breath work.
That sounds really beneficial.
Then there are headaches, which can really impact quality of life.
Oh, I know all about that.
And Dr. McCall highlights the importance of stress reduction, postural awareness, and relaxation techniques for managing them.
I can see how those would help.
He shares Margaret's experience, who suffered from frequent migraines but found relief through yoga postures, breathing exercises, and lifestyle adjustments.
Sounds like a comprehensive approach.
It is. Then there's heart disease, a major health concern.
It's a leading cause of death worldwide.
And Dr. McCall emphasizes lifestyle changes like stress reduction exercise and healthy eating for preventing and managing it.
All very important factors.
Those are. He highlights how yoga can promote heart health by reducing stress, improving circulation, and inducing relaxation.
Makes sense.
He even shares the story of Ron, who reversed his heart disease through a comprehensive program that included yoga meditation and dietary changes.
That's remarkable.
Then he talks about hypertension, or high blood pressure.
Another major risk factor for heart disease.
Exactly. And he highlights how yoga can help lower blood pressure through relaxation techniques, stress reduction, and improve circulation.
It's amazing how multifaceted yoga is.
It really is. He shares Dick's journey, who struggled with hypertension for years but successfully lowered his blood pressure and reduced his reliance on medication through yoga and lifestyle changes.
That's really encouraging.
It is. He also explores how yoga can be beneficial for people living with HIV/AIDS.
Oh, that's interesting.
He talks about how it can boost immunity, manage stress, and improve overall well-being.
It's about supporting the body's natural defenses.
Exactly. And he shares Jeremy's story, who used yoga to maintain his health and quality of life while living with HIV.
That's powerful.
Then he touches on infertility.
A sensitive topic for many.
It is. And he explores how yoga can reduce stress balance hormones and improve reproductive health.
I can see how stress would play a role in that.
He shares Alana's story, who struggled with infertility but conceived and gave birth to a healthy baby through dedicated yoga practice.
That's heartwarming.
Then there's insomnia, another widespread challenge.
So many people struggle with sleep.
Dr. McCall emphasizes relaxation techniques, breathing exercises, and creating a calming bedtime routine to promote restful sleep.
Those are all great tips.
He shares Chris's experience, a physician who had insomnia due to work demands, but improved his sleep and reduced his reliance on medication through yoga.
That's a common issue these days.
Then there's irritable bowel syndrome, or IBS.
Oh, that can be really tough to manage.
It can. And Dr. McCall highlights how yoga can help regulate digestion, reduce stress, and alleviate IBS symptoms through postures, breathing exercises, and relaxation techniques.
So it's a multi-pronged approach.
It is. And he shares Michael's experience, who had debilitating IBS symptoms for years, but found significant relief and learned to manage his condition through yoga.
That's encouraging.
Then he discusses menopause, which is a natural transition, but often comes with various challenges.
Definitely.
Dr. McCall explores how yoga can manage menopausal symptoms, reduce stress, and promote hormonal balance.
I can see how that would be helpful.
He shares Connie's story, who found significant relief from hot flashes, mood swings, and other symptoms through a tailored yoga practice.
So it's about adapting the practice to the individual's needs.
Exactly. Then he shifts his focus to multiple sclerosis, or MS.
A chronic condition affecting the nervous system.
Right. And he emphasizes gentle movement, breathing exercises, and relaxation techniques to manage MS symptoms, promote mobility, and improve quality of life.
It's about working with the body's limitations.
He shares Jack's inspiring story, who used yoga to manage his symptoms, improve his strength and flexibility, and cultivate a positive outlook.
That's truly remarkable.
It is. Then he tackles weight management, which is a complex issue.
Definitely, there are so many factors involved.
And Dr. McCall emphasizes mindful eating, stress reduction, and regular physical activity as part of a holistic approach.
Makes sense. It's about addressing the whole person.
Right. He shares James's story, who successfully lost weight and improved his overall health through yoga, meditation, and mindful eating practices.
So it's a combination of different approaches.
It is. And in the final chapters, he reflects on yoga as a therapeutic practice.
What are his concluding thoughts?
Well, he acknowledges the importance of ongoing research to validate its benefits further.
Right, to solidify its place in mainstream healthcare.
Exactly. He also encourages medical professionals to embrace a more holistic view of healing, recognizing that mind, body, and spirit are all interconnected.
That's a crucial shift in perspective.
And he stresses the importance of personalized yoga therapy, because everyone's needs are different.
It's not a one-size-fits-all approach.
He encourages readers to cultivate self-awareness, listen to their bodies, and approach yoga with curiosity and respect for their limitations.
Those are all valuable insights.
He also advocates for finding a qualified yoga therapist for guidance, especially for those with pre-existing conditions.
That's a good point. Expert guidance can be invaluable.
And he concludes with a message of hope and empowerment, emphasizing that yoga offers a path to greater health, well-being, and a deeper connection to ourselves and the world.
That's beautiful. That's a really powerful message. It's inspiring to see how yoga can empower people to take control of their own well-being.
Absolutely, and it's about embarking on that journey of self-healing.
And that journey extends beyond just reading the book or taking a class, right?
It does. Dr. McCall really stresses the importance of integrating these teachings into your daily life.
By establishing a personal practice.
Right, finding what works for you.
And making it a part of who you are, not just something you do on a mat for an hour.
Exactly. He reminds us that it's not about striving for perfection or pushing ourselves beyond our limits.
It's about kindness.
It is approaching yoga with kindness and recognizing that every step we take toward well-being is a victory.
Self-compassion is key.
It really is. So he leaves us with this thought-provoking question.
What is it?
How can you incorporate even small elements of yoga into your life for greater well-being?
I love that question. It really encourages us to think about how we can personalize our approach to well-being.
It does. And before we wrap up our deep dive into yoga as medicine, I thought it would be helpful to share a concise 10-point summary.
Great idea. I'm sure our listeners would appreciate that.
So first and foremost, yoga is more than just physical exercise.
It's a holistic system.
Exactly. It encompasses the mind, body, and spirit.
An interconnectedness of it all.
And secondly, yoga therapy is a personalized approach.
That goes beyond generic classes.
It's about tailoring practices to address specific conditions and individual needs.
So it's not one size fits all.
Definitely not. And thirdly, yoga is a powerful tool for stress management.
We talked about that earlier.
We did at Victoring. Practices like breathwork, meditation, and relaxation techniques can effectively regulate those cortisol levels.
And mitigate those harmful effects of chronic stress.
Right. Fourthly, yoga cultivates mindfulness,
helping us become more aware of our body's thoughts and emotions.
which can lead to healthier choices.
And enhance self-regulation.
Fifthly, yoga enhances flexibility, strength, and balance,
Leading to improved physical function.
and a reduced risk of injuries.
Sixthly, Yoga can be a valuable complementary approach in managing a variety of health conditions.
like anxiety, arthritis, asthma, back pain, you name it.
The list goes on and on.
It does. And seventhly, yoga emphasizes the importance of establishing a personal practice.
Making it a part of our daily lives.
Eighthly, yoga encourages self-compassion
Reminding us to honor our limitations.
and approach our practice with kindness
Ninthly, yoga is a continuous journey,
of self-discovery and growth.
leading to greater health well-being and a deeper connection with ourselves and the world around us.
And finally, yoga empowers us to actively participate in our own healing.
Recognizing that we have the power to influence our well-being through mindful choices.
So there you have it, 10 key takeaways from Yoga as Medicine.
A great overview of the book's message.
Thank you for joining us on this exploration of yoga as medicine. We encourage you to delve deeper into these concepts and discover how yoga can enrich your life.
Remember, even small steps can lead to profound transformations.
Embrace that journey of self-healing and unlock the remarkable potential that lies within.